on, YouTube folks out there, Facebook friends, people of Black Junction TV. My name is Odimir, and this is the Hard Black Truth. So I do actually have the footage. So for those of you who tuned in, wanting to actually see the footage, you will. I will show you. This is deeply concerning, and there are so many lessons that could be learned from this. But without further ado, I will let you see the video. So here we go.
Let him go!
You're causing more problems. You are so... You're doing this...
Sean, let him go! We're just trying to get out of here. Let him go.
So right now they got this black man surrounded. He's surrounded. They're literally arguing over what they're going to do with him. And you have people asking them to let him go.
Let him go, please. Let him
And they're
go.
telling everyone
Please let him go. We're going to as soon as you let him go.
to step off.
I'm going to. Guys, get the fuck out of here. Let him go. Get your phones out of here and go.
Big Bill comes in.
Let him go. Get the fuck out of here.
And here's another angle. So I guess the girl didn't like that this was being recorded, because she at least has some common sense.
What do you want to call me?
You with your 5 white friends? You happy with your 5 white friends?
Your 5 white friends. He points out, he counts how many friends he has. Looks like he managed to cut himself somehow. Now, he has 5 white friends. I don't know whether they were actually counting the actual friends or the people that intervened. Here's another angle. And guys, it is cropped. I had to crop the video, clean it up a little some. But I'll have links in the description. Liberal F-U-C-Ks. Okay. Okay. So there you guys saw that video. Pardon the commentary, but I had to say something along with it. Hopefully I won't get dinged at all. But they did manage to go to work. And we got names and we got information. And I will suggest everyone be mindful with this information. I know this story was largely broke by Sean King, and the individual, the victim in this case, Mr. Brooks, is also some form of public figure. I try to be objective at all times, and I try not to fall into anyone's hyperbole, but you guys saw the video. There really is no excusing this. You have these would-be assailants. You have Jerry Cox. He works for Matthew Masonry and Restoration. Probably not for long. You have Ian James Jerko, or Churko. Also works for Matthews Masonry as well. You have Sean Purdy, works/owns Purdy Masonry. So these are some grit, dirt, grime masons right here, right? Now there was 3 individuals. I thought we had another person. Not really sure, but you got the number to the DNR, the Monroe County prosecutor. The reports are that they have reviewed the information. They've decided not to charge anyone, and they may just be waiting to see how much steam this is going to gather. And I'm sure that by the time you guys wake up tomorrow morning, you'll have found that they have decided to go ahead and press charges against someone because a crime took place and people are pissed off. And this is not acceptable. This is no longer acceptable in the United States of America. You cannot continue to do this. And the fact that they would do this amidst all the stuff that's taking place. amidst all of the uprisings and the laws being changed and statues being broken down and flags being, having the Confederate part taken off, with all of the stuff that's taking place, you guys thought that you would be able to do this and not receive any form of consequences or repercussions. It remains to be seen, but I believe it's coming. But quite frankly, I wouldn't even give a damn about some prosecutor. I'm sure that as you watch that video, people, I'm certain, I speak this from the heart, that when you saw that, you felt like it's time for me to clock out. It's time for me to take some time off. God damn it, you white supremacists are going to force a situation to where black folks just say, you know what, bump it, I'm calling out to work today. I need to head over to Indiana. I need to head over to Kentucky. I need to head over to Missouri. I need to head over to Virginia, West Virginia, Baltimore, wherever. You name it, we are there because we are sick and tired of it. You keep pressing us. You keep trying to push those buttons to see how far it'll come. You're gonna find out. Now they thought that this was a powerful message. You have the NFAC, I believe I'm saying that correctly. I could be wrong, but this group, I won't say just sprouted up out of nowhere because I'm not from the Atlanta Stone Mountain area, but black folks got together, they got organized, they strapped up, and they were about it. And you're gonna mess around and put us in a position where everybody's gonna be about it. And quite frankly, many of us are already there. Many of us are preparing, and we understand that you guys are preparing too. I think that this country knows silently, everyone understands it, but no one's really saying it. They understand that things are boiling and coming to a head, and you may end up with an armed conflict out in the streets, which is why I make this video. Because we live in a day and age where this that you see on your screen is what is necessary to bring awareness to the masses. Now, this was done on the 4th of July. Do you understand that the National Guard has been called out to Atlanta now to kind of patrol the streets? Because having these many black individuals armed to the T, we just can't have that. Now, can we? But then you turn around and this is what you do. Now, if I'm to take this man's story at face value, I believe everything that he said. And just for your own edification, I'll go ahead and paraphrase as I scroll. And basically, this took place on the 4th of July. Right? And what's being said is that there were actually 5 assailants. Now, I only think the camera managed to capture 4. I only think you managed to see about 4 in the videos that were shown. But all of this stemmed from the fact that you had a black person on the scene in an area where there were no black men. And you had some white supremacists. And I don't want to hear, I don't give a damn about none of that. I was drunk talk or anything like that. These folks had out their ATVs. They were out there mudding or whatever the hell it is that they do. And they saw a black person that to them just looked out of place. And they decided that it was time for them to attack. And there is nothing, I believe that there is nothing that black man could have done to avoid that conflict. Except for actually not go there to begin with. Many folks out here wondering why the hell you as a black man would decide to go out into the woods where no black people are. I want to say even here in the state of South Carolina, we have a story circulating where there was a black man who went on a boat ride with like 7 or 8 other white folks, no other black folks, and they all went out to the water and When they came back and it was time for everyone to step onto shore, everyone but that black man stepped on shore. He's dead, drowned, or whatever. And folks sitting here scratching their head. I'm not. Do not put yourself in those positions. Even if you are among your best of friends and family, if you want to call, non-black people your family, whatever it may be, you still have a target on your back because you are black. You are still going to be singled out and targeted because you are black. So this the fact that this would take place, the fact that you had these I can't even. If you're like me, when you saw that video, you just wanted to go ahead and clock out, and you wanted to go ahead and head out there to Indiana. You wanted to go out there to Lake Monroe, head out there to Indiana, and run one of those marches, and hope that something will pop off. That's just the way I'm feeling right now. Honestly. Truth be told. Now, those white supremacists are more than likely going to get what's coming to them. Even in this story, which was, again, this was posted earlier today, they say that no charges were filed and no one's looking to press charges. You had an attempted lynching on someone's life and no one's trying to do anything about it. I don't see that lasting much longer. I don't see that lasting much longer. Having said that, there are some disturbing things that I see myself. This right here is the victim, Mr. Rush Booker. I'm not going to try to pronounce that first name. I'm not going to play myself. But I did go ahead and visit his Facebook page. In the process, I found out that he had another Facebook page. He calls himself a public figure. It looks like he does some things involved with politics. But one of the main things that I've noticed is that he has a very, he has an LGBTQ energy coming off of him from his posts. And when I did hear him speak, he gave an interview. I'm not trying to disparage Mr. Booker. I'm not trying to hate on Mr. Booker. It's none of that. But I do have to point this out because here you have his picture, he's smiling, cheesing, and right underneath he has abolish ICE. Now, we live in a climate right now where it should be all hands on deck with us being black first. We don't have the time to be sitting here trying to fight someone else's battles. Those illegal immigrants, Mexicans, Hispanics, whatever you want to call them, if they're coming over to this country illegally, they come over, they do so. Black folks don't really bother them, but then what do they turn around and do? They turn around and support Trump. They turn around and claim that they're white. They turn around and try to exact white supremacy out against us. And that isn't always the case, but often enough. It happens enough to where this should not be on your menu. Here's another photograph. He's sitting there with a bunch of non-black individuals just cheesing it up, smiling. He's just so happy to be here. Here is yet another post where you see him cheesing. Look at that. I mean, look at that smile. He just loves being around non-black individuals. Now, to be fair, there was some photos on his Facebook where he's with some black folks. So I'm not trying to say like he's just straight up cornballing it out anti-black. But clearly somewhere along the way, somewhere along the road in this man's life, he took for granted that we live in the United States of America where you do have some semblance of protection. He actually thought that would ride all the time, and it didn't. He got a wake-up call, and it's unfortunate that his wake-up call came in the form of an attempted lynching. But what can you expect when this man is sitting here talking about a measure of justice for the LGBTQ community? That is not your fight. Look, If you want to support him, by all means, go ahead and do so. But you're using energy that could be better used towards your own empowerment as a black man. Here's another post. He talks about, this is why we say Black Lives Matter. When black folks gain liberation, so does everyone. He could have said everyone else, just made it more clear. He could have just said all lives matter. It would have just been more clear. This photo, this screen capture was of a white man who was beaten to a bloody pulp by police officers and lost his life, and the cops went free. It's a story that if you heard it without watching or seeing the actual photograph, you would think that they were describing another black man. He took this as an opportunity to basically say all lives matter. And okay, great. Good for you. But again, you're the black man here in the United States of America, not them. You're the one that's going to end up getting lynched, not them. He even uses the language of the LGBTQ, which I find rather disturbing. When I hear folks use their language as a black individual, I have to look at you sideways. I can no longer find you trustworthy, because anytime I come along to talk about our empowerment as black folks, it would be expected that you're going to come in and attempt to deflect the conversation. That's what tends to happen all too often. If you look at this man's Facebook page, again, this is all being said in love. I'm not out here trying to disparage anybody. But if you go over Mr. Booker's Facebook page, you can see that he follows the trends. If you look at his more recent posts, you would think that this man moves in many of the same circles that you see us black first individuals moving in, but it's really not the case. He's kind of, I won't say hopping on bandwagons. There is enough evidence to show that he has some semblance of being aware of the racial dynamics that's playing out in this nation. I would say that he is woke. Now, back in the days, 4, 5, 6 years ago, to say someone was woke, that meant something. Nowadays, it is exactly as I am putting it in its context. He's woke. He's one of those woke individuals that believe in everything else. I mean, who uses the language of womanexing? Maybe that was a typo. I don't know. When it comes to these folks, they have so many terms now. I do know that non-binary is one of their terms. And at that point, I'm just like, I'm ready to tune the hell out. And what really upset me was this post. Now, this happened back in February, and he says, I've been saying this for a while. Elizabeth Warren has by far the best agenda for helping black folks and the nation in general. It's just patriarchy causing folks to believe otherwise. Well, I'll be dipped. I'll be dipped. Without being too hateful, Mr. Booker, I think that patriarchy might have served you in this case if you actually had it in you to fight back. Now, you're one person. I get that. These are dangerous, wild, racist, white supremacist rednecks. They might have superhuman strength. I don't know, but I think that you would do better to focus on your own empowerment, because at the end of the day, this wasn't LGBTQ that you were attacked for. Perhaps, maybe, I don't know, but at the end of the day, I am certain that they got at you because of your blackness. Not because you were out there being gay, not because you were out there being an illegal, not because any of this other stuff that you're trying to include out there. They weren't doing it because you are a male and evil patriarchy. No, they got at you because you are black. And it's a shame that you received your wake-up call this way. It could have been a lot worse. Understand that. But you guys let me know how you feel about this situation. I am glad that we managed to get the information and dox these fools. And I am certain that with what's been laid out, we'll be able to make the necessary phone calls and bring the right amount of awareness to this situation and get every last one of those white supremacists arrested, all of the men and the women, because that should not take place in the United States of America ever again. Ever. But you guys let me know how you feel about everything. My name is Odimir. Holla at me. Peace.